Hey everybody, I'm Bueller from Comics with Bueller, and this is
Bob from Everything Comics.
and you're watching Comic Book Addicts.
Everybody, welcome to Comic Book Addicts. It is Monday, September 25th, and this is episode 37. I can't believe we're already up to 37 episodes. Seemed like I just started like a month ago, but here we are, episode 37, and I can't wait. We got some really good guests on tonight, but before I bring them out, I had a few announcements that I wanted to run through that are definitely worthy of your attention. The first thing, though, I'm going to throw up on the screen is this it's for Jen. Comics Will Break Your Hearts GoFundMe. I wanted to mention that and be sure that you guys were aware of that. I'm pretty sure it's still going. But she's a member of this community, puts out awesome content. I don't personally know her, but I think that she's a really cool person. I've watched her for a long time. She does really good content, y'all. But here, be sure to check out the GoFundMe. I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of that. I'd feel bad if I didn't mention that. But that's what we do, right? We help each other. So if you have it to give, go check out the GoFundMe and give, or at least share with someone else who might be able to give. CBC finalist voting is in full swing. And with that being said, I'll pass it over to Brian.
Hey YouTube, Brian LCS with a Comic Book Community Awards update. Finalist voting is now open for the 2023 Comic Book Community Awards and runs through November 18th. So please visit cbcawards.org and vote for your favorites in 26 different categories.
Y'all be sure to go vote. It's www.cbcawards.org. A lot of really good content creators nominated, including the two that are coming that will be with me this evening. So be sure you go over and vote. Let's see who we got in the chat, though. Oh, wow. The chat's blowing up. What's going on, guys? I hope everybody's doing well. We got Las Cruces from New Mexico. What's going on, Las Cruces? Glad you could make it, brother. We have Tony, the Comiverse. What's going on, man? DJ Links. What is up, brother? Another nominated channel. Let's see. We have Trev, the Shipping Guru. What's going on, Trev? I hope you're doing well. Travis from Between the Lines. And I wanted to tell you guys, Between the Lines will actually, it's canceled tonight. Roscoe's going to take the night to rest his hand and just relax. So there will be no Between the Lines. But we still have top 10 alternatives with 22 comics at 9 p.m. to look forward to. So that's awesome. Let's see. Hoot. What's going on, Hoot? He says, evening all. Glad you could make it, brother. Let's see. Scrolling through. Got a ton of comments here. We got, oh, it jumped on me. Okay, we got Mike, Evil's Comics. What's going on? He says, trying to knock out my reading, but I had to come through and show some love. Well, thank you, Mike. I appreciate that, man. Any time that is spent here is appreciated. Rob, one of our guests tonight, Rob Fat Stacks O Comics says, I can't wait to watch these clowns. I hear they're lame. Nah, that's not true. That's not true. I wanted to shout out Nirvana Comics. Nirvana Comics actually reached out and invited me. Let me take this. Hold on, sorry. Take this comment down real quick. Nirvana Comics actually reached out to me and gave me the opportunity to come up and do some recording at their comic book shop. And I thought it was really cool. First time anybody's ever reached out to me, and I didn't have to reach out to them first. So I thought it was really awesome. I wanted to shout them out. Bernard Chang will actually be there doing a signing this Wednesday. So I'm going to be up there, hopefully recording some cool content, but definitely meeting Bernard Chang and getting some books signed. I think Jean Grey issue 2 comes out that day, and he's on that title. So going to grab that up, get it signed. Taking a copy of Monkey Prince up there, but it's going to be a fun time. I wanted to shout out Nirvana Comics. You can order through them if you don't have an LCS. But anyways, if you're ever in East Tennessee, be sure to check out Nirvana Comics. They are so cool. Such a good comic book shop. But let's bring out the guests. We got some really good guests tonight. Can't wait to get them out here and talk about Only Slabs and this awesome C3 event that is coming up. But my guests tonight both have great comic book related YouTube channels on their own who have been producing quality content for years now. But with their powers combined, they form Only Slabs. a weekly Slab Happy comic book live stream that graces YouTube screens everywhere, every Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. They will also be on to talk about an amazing 3-day charity event that will be coming up in October by the name of C3. Guys, help me welcome Chris the Comic Vet and Rob Fatstacks.
First of all, it's Rob and Chris. I always get top billing. Not
You're
just
supposed to say
My
the
bad.
East Coast before the West Coast as well.
But my real question is, Chris, I thought we were the guests today.
Yeah, we're taking over.
He said something about quality content.
Quality
I don't know.
content.
I don't know.
He's just lobbing one in, hoping that something happens, and I just ran up to the plate, and I'm like, Rob, get ready to run.
I'm so glad you guys could come hang out with me tonight. I've been wanting to have. I've had you on, Chris, before, but I've always wanted to have Only Slabs. I've wanted to have both of you guys on together, so I was super thrilled.
It's not
to
the
have
first time they've
opportunity
always wanted
tonight.
to have the two of us together.
That's what she said, right?
That's right. We
I
hope.
threw you the alley-oop on that one. But I wanted to start off by thanking you both for agreeing to come on and hang out this evening. And why don't we start by, I guess, both of you introducing yourselves in case anyone at home is not familiar. So I guess we'll start with Rob first, of course. Rob always
go
first.
ahead. Chris alphabetically. Please, Chris.
Okay.
Rob, you want me to do you and you do me?
Yeah.
No, someone's gonna sound clear. Or
Yeah, that just got
that just
flipped.
blew up in my face. Well, let's
So
see.
did that.
That's what she said. Oh, man, it got bad quick.
Okay.
Welcome to Slab Hub. I mean,
this is what happens when you reach out for a backup when your original.
I say,
guest
Scotty,
cancels,
you got one
right,
hell of a
Scotty?
green
That's it,
room
man.
back
You're
there.
in trouble now. You want to fill
good.
an hour and a half? Get ready. So
Scotty's got the best green room. That's all I know.
My name is Chris. I'm north of the United States border up here in Canada. I'm proudly a second generation comic book reader, and also a second generation collector. I've been doing this for a little bit, and I'm still loving it. And you can catch me on the weekends. You can catch on someone else's channel. You can catch me during the week on my own channel. And the odd time like this, I'm on someone else's channel during the week. And yeah, that's because I'm too lazy to cut my hair. But yeah, that's hold on. If we're ready to talk about stuff that really matters, I'm ready to talk about that too. Now, Scotty, I do have a question though. You said that Knoxville is where? You said East Tennessee or West Tennessee?
East Tennessee. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I've been to Tennessee, and I've been to Gatlinburg. Is what part of Tennessee is that considered then? Because obviously it's right in the middle of the Smokies. Okay.
You were very close to Knoxville. If you were in Gatlinburg's, I don't know, maybe an hour at most from Knoxville. Probably not even that.
Right. Okay.
So it's the same area. It's all around the Smoky Mountains, Appalachian Mountains. But very close, very close.
Very friendly people.
Yeah, I love East Tennessee. I was fortunate enough to grow up here, and I love it. But Rob.
Hi.
What's
I'm
up,
Rob.
man?
I'm a fat man with a fat stack of comics and a fat opinion. Thanks.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I started this journey actually. I didn't get into comics till late. I got into comics in college. I got really irritated by a storyline about clones, and I sold off everything and walked away from comics, like sad walk, like the end of a 1970s Hulk TV show. And then through the glory of resurrection and rebirth, which is comics, my son struggled with reading, and I wanted to get him to read stuff, and took him to a comic book shop and got him picking up some books. And as long as I was spending money on them, I got back into it. And lo and behold, he long since stopped caring about comics, and I just buy really expensive paper now.
I could see behind you. Got some really impressive stuff there on the wall.
Yeah. I try to just make sure that the kids know that when I'm dead, not to put it out at the garage sale.
Yeah.
Now collectively, you guys do a live stream every Saturday, and it's at 11:30 a.m.
Pacific time. Yeah, that's right. Thank you for saying that time first. 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, we put on our winter twin rings. we hit them up and we get our powers in shape of a Canadian, shape of an American, and here we go. Only Slabs, right? So it's just become it's a juggernaut at this point on itself, really, that has taken over our Saturdays. But it's fun as hell because we've always seen every week, even the books that you've seen before, you've seen several times before.
Mhm.
They're great and amazing books usually that you love to see over and over again, and the stories that come with them are different each and every time.
Now you guys are up to like 114 episodes. So how long have you been doing Only Slabs?
114 episodes.
I mean,
No, I
It
think
started last
what's-
summer.
what's the number? Like probably around
No,
80-ish.
Actually, no, it started the summer before last. So
Okay.
it started in 2021, summer 2021, with in the height of the pandemic. I took a picture of some racking in my garage. At the time, my slab collection only consumed one rack of comics. I just bought the third.
oh wow.
but so I took a picture of it, and it was like, somebody said, "Wow, you know what? Those are all slabs. That'd be cool. You should do like a video going through them or something." And I said, "Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I could take one box down a week." It was only, I remember these numbers, and it's like awfully how far I've come. It was only 13 boxes of slabs at the time.
Holy.
Well, I just started box 32.
Right.
So it was, 13 boxes of slabs, and I said, well, I could do one box a week. That's, summer's worth of content. But it'd be kind of boring, I thought, if it was just me sitting there doing this thing. And so I reached out to Slot It Up, because he and I were doing a different show at the time called Sidekicks Talk Comics. Slotted Up, of course, not on. He doesn't do a show on YouTube anymore. Although the last couple of weeks he's shown up on a Cranky Comic Chat, which has been fun to see him.
So he's quietly semi-retired now. So that's
He's
Jason
doing
for those who don't know who we're referring to.
Yeah. So, anyways, he's so he said, "Well, I'm kind of busy. I got a lot of things going on." He says, "But dude, you should talk to this guy, Chris, the comic vet." He says, "Well, he's got great comic book knowledge. I think that you guys would hit it off." So I pinged Chris. He said, "Hey, well, would you be interested in doing this?" And this is where Chris starts to tell his origin story.
So Scott, just to back it up further, I've been on YouTube now just over a couple of years. It was August 2 years ago when I started, and I was one of those that had the camera facing the opposite direction. Like I wasn't ready for the camera to be turned on me, how we are now, and I would basically just do like whatever pickups I had if something showed up in the mail or new comic book day, and then one day I decided just to turn the camera around, but do it in my car, and it turned out the acoustics was really good, so I quietly just started doing that. And there was two channels that picked up on mine really early. One was Legion of Comics,
right,
and the other was Slotted Up 503. And they both, like every time I would drop a video, they would always leave comments. And then both Mark and Jason kept saying to me, "Hey, why don't you come on our channels and talk about the books you picked up?" And Mark would say, "Why don't you come on Sunday night?" And Jason would say, "Hey, why don't you come on?" Because he would do a live stream in the middle of the week. And I was always just saying, no, thanks, but no thanks. I'm just kind of like doing what I'm doing. Basically, just because I had cold feet, like a lot of people have to crawl before they walk. And I was definitely one of those when it came to my YouTube journey. Then I finally agreed to go on Slotted Up 503's live stream. So he sent me the link, and thankfully there was a bunch of other guys that were on there as well. And we just started talking and talking about comic books. And then when it came my turn, right away, I'm like, well, yeah, this is cool right now, but this character's origin story, this character's story in the 80s, 90s, what's much better than what we're dealing with today. And I would talk about what I know because I've been reading comic books since, like probably 82-ish. And then it was basically a couple days later, Mark invited me to come on his Sunday night show, and I went on that, and that ended up being at Week's End in its infancy. Basically, shortly after. For those of you that don't know, Mark actually had a partner in Legion Comics when it first started, and this was shortly after his partner decided just to walk away a little bit, and Mark took over Legion Comics full time by himself. So yes, yeah, this is true, and. So it was on that channel then I really got to talk about the history of comics, because Mark, like myself, is a second generation comic book reader, and his dad, was still alive today, is an encyclopedia as well. And through that I got to just finally talk about the history of comics. And then with my own channel, I started talking a little bit more about what I knew. And then it's between Mark and Jason that kept leaving all these comments like, hey, like, come on, like we still want to talk like about stuff like that. And yeah, see, but I remember, so it was during this time then I started realizing, hey, in order to grow your channel, you have to pay attention to other people's channels, because I thought it was just I thought it was me against everybody, when in fact the whole idea of community is what made me appreciate where I am today. So I started watching Sidekicks Talk Comics with Jason, because Jason was my link to that show. And then that's when I got to learn about Rob and find out, oh, well, this guy has a large comic book collection. I wonder if it's bigger than mine. And so it went back.
As guys often do.
Right,
wonder if is his bigger than mine? What's up with that?
So
now comes a long box.
I know I'm going long here, Scotty, but it's that
fine.
point where Rob is actually 100% correct. Jason Slaughter 503 was basically going live almost every day of the week and on weekends. He was on Gary B's channel.
Black Box Comic.
What's up, Black Box?
Black Box. I just got the third package, just arrived today. Thank you so much.
So
Yes.
well, that's great.
Love Black Box.
And
Sorry,
where was I? And that was I
invited you on the show.
When Jason said that to Rob, both of them reached out and said, Rob said, hey, I have this idea for a show. I need a co-host. Apparently, you know a little bit about comics or something. Would you be interested in coming on and just talking about the book when I'm just kind of changing out the book? And Jason said, hey, man, like, there's a good idea. Maybe there's something to it. You should go on and check it out. And I just thought, okay, well, maybe this is a way to grow my channel a little bit and get to learn someone else in the YouTube world, because all I really know is Jason and Mark and the other portion of the tripod that used to make up At Week's End. And so we had I gotta admit, I at first I was like gung ho about it, like, yep, count me in. What time? Like, when do we want to do this? And they said Saturday afternoon. And I'm like, wait, you want to do it when? so I decided, okay, we'll give it a go, and maybe there'll be some chemistry there. Maybe there'll be some chemistry.
Yeah,
and
it was a weird time for I think some people, the concept, but I was trying to make sure I picked a time that wasn't a conflict, and at that time, weekends were just like the weekdays. Pretty much the big shows or big people were only on in the evenings.
Yeah,
and so it seemed like, why not do it in the middle of the day? We'll see what happens, right? And it's now grown, and it works out well, because we hit a large number of folks from Europe who tune in to watch the show. And that's so it's evening time for them, and as they're tuning in, because it's 7:30 in the UK at the time and 9:30 on mainland, parts of Europe. So it works out. Yeah, it works out really well for us now. And if we were any earlier, goddamn, the poor Mad Spidey would probably revolt. But
Did y'all always have the same format from the very get go? And did you always have the same name?
So no, so yeah, the show originally started off as Slab Hub because it was, it was the idea was that this was it was comic book porn. That's what that's what slabs were, right? And
I
it's
love
like
it. Yeah.
It was very tongue in cheek.
yeah, so it was, it borrowed heavily so the imaging and stuff, and everybody knew. Well, a lot of guys, every guy knows what Pornhub was, and so Slab Hub
The
was
Canadian channel, by the way.
the connection was people understood it, right? But and in the format initially, it was just me showing my books and Chris providing some commentary or asking questions a little bit. And then was approached the end of my 13 boxes of books, then it was Chris goes, well, I've got some slabs. And this is where I was kind of like, okay, I still didn't really know how much Chris had. And he starts pulling out, he's like, I got a couple enough for a few weeks. Yeah. Next thing we're going weeks of just into it. And then it was kind of like, hey, let's see if we can continue this and start bringing on community members. And that's when the show really changed and really started to take shape. Was when we started inviting our friends on first, and then slowly growing on that outreach, getting different community members to come on and bring their collections on, and both of us then providing different elements about the conversations, right? So Chris is really more of the historian oftentimes when it comes to these books, whereas for me, I'm more interested sometimes in talking about the financial side of the comics, even though I'm honest to God, I know there's not a freaking single investment dollar here, really, right? But I understand that they do have value, right? Even if it's not a smart investment, it's
a great balance, though. You two have a great balance. You have a great chemistry together, and some really good things have come out of it. Ultimately, the pairing. But before we go any farther, though, I do want to talk more about Only Slabs. But we do have a special guest who is backstage that I did want to bring out. Have a very special surprise for everybody here. We actually have Trish Forstner back with us this week. She wanted to pop in. Marcus, actually, she was on the show last week. First off, Trish, how are you doing? You doing well? Uh-oh, I can't hear you.
She's muted.
You're muted.
Yep.
Oh, technical difficulty.
There we go.
I'm here. Got my hair redone. Remodeled my office. So look, I actually have like some.
Yes, that's so cool. That is so cool.
Before we begin, I've been dying to say this, and you haven't been to a con that I've been to, at least in the Toronto area. Trish, I want to say thank you for Stray Dogs so much. Volume 1, Volume 2, and the new comic book day book that came out was fantastic. Stray Dogs, and I got turned on to it by a gentleman named Tyler, Ready for Wednesday, part of the Y Comics crew. He's like, Chris, you really got to be reading Stray Dogs. I'm like, I don't want no niche book or anything. He's like, trust me, it's incredible. And I picked it up, and I picked up issue 4. And by the end of the day, I went back to my LCS. I picked up the other ones, and I've been hardcore collecting the variants ever since. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for Stray Dogs. It was incredible, and I hope it's not done. I don't know if it is or not, but Volume 1, Volume 2, and the new comic book day edition was terrific.
Stray Dogs itself is kind of like wrapped, right? The 5-issue mini, that was it, and then the second one, which was like a little anthology of stuff that we couldn't fit in the first issue. So like all of that combines that Stray Dogs. Done. But next year we're working on something real evil. So
yes,
what do you see?
Stray cats.
Well, you're not entirely wrong.
Except we can't use that name because that band objects.
It's
First, I don't need any legal trouble with any bands.
Believe us, you don't know all about it when it comes to names.
But it's called Feral, and it involves cats, and a zombie-like apocalypse.
I'm in.
Probably brought on by the cats because they're evil.
Yeah. Cat videos are the greatest. Okay.
I'm trying to see how many cat memes I can fit into each of the panels, so it's
There
going to
you
be a
go.
real fun scavenger hunt.
Please have Tartar in there. Tartar, for everyone, is better known as Grumpy Cat. So
Yes, tartar sauce. I miss Grumpy.
yeah.
I want to have like a really dark Grumpy Cat cover. That would be freaking awesome.
Yeah.
That
And
would be
ironically, Tony used to draw that comic, the Grumpy Cat comic back in the day.
awesome. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Man, I miss and these internet cats. They got something. I don't know, but so yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm a little busy tonight. I have another show after this, and I have a quick turnaround cover for Dynamite due tomorrow. So.
Oh wow. Well, I'm so happy that you could pop in with us for even just a little bit. Last week you were my guest, and Marcus brought up comics curing cancer, and so you had, I don't know, we talked back and forth a little bit about it, and you agreed to come back this week. But anyways, I wanted to introduce you. These are the guys. Rob is actually the man responsible for starting it up.
I'm the caretaker. I didn't start it, but I am the caretaker of the program at this point in its lifespan.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah,
I wanted to introduce the two of you and everything, and I wanted to actually shout out Marcus as well, because Marcus is the man who brought it up last week. So shout out to Marcus.
Yeah, and he had mentioned, you guys might be looking for stuff to add to your, whatever you do to raise money.
It's an awesome.
yeah. We do a variety of different things, but one of the big things is auctioning off various items that are donated to us by different members of the community and artists and comic book companies and such, that we then use, and all the proceeds go directly to the American Cancer Society. Because let's be honest, the true supervillain in this world is cancer. It affects everyone, but together we might be able to beat it.
Well, I would like to donate this piece.
Wow.
Let me
These were the original
Make her big.
let me blow
You can
her
do
up
it
real fast. Yeah, I can do it. Give me a second.
I super believe in you, Stevie.
Nope.
Your position. Swap
I
positions
know I
with
can
her.
do it. Let's see. Hold on. Give me 2
Now
seconds.
just drag her to you.
I had it. Okay, here we go. We're working on it.
There we go.
There we go.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness, Trish.
So this was the original inks for Darkwing Duck number 8 or 7.
Oh
Number
wow.
I
7.
actually have it right here.
Oh yeah, number 7. Okay, so these are the inks for that issue, for that cover.
Awesome.
So I can donate this piece.
That's fabulous. Yes,
That's
thank
incredible.
you.
That is absolutely incredible. Yeah,
For
that
the
is
cause,
amazing.
because
Wonderful.
nothing sucks worse than cancer. So
No, absolutely.
I know I'll be bidding on that one hot and heavy. That is amazing. I'm a super
all
huge
emotional over
Darkwing
here.
Duck
That's
fan.
phenomenal.
Dude, oh my
That's
god.
awesome. Oh, Trish,
Yeah.
thank you so much. I assume that's your IG handle there.
yeah,
on this-
that's where I am everywhere. Instagram, Twitter. Reach out to me.
I'll ping you after the show later to get you my information for shipping. That's so
I'll
nice.
need an address, and then
and then
I've got to figure out a way to get it shipped. I think I've got a what do you call it, top loader around here somewhere.
Yeah, and then those medium flat rate boxes, flat with work. We'll take that.
That's what I would usually do. Is I think I've done it before with a couple of them.
But can you tell her a little bit? Because
I know. I will.
Charities kind of scare me a little bit, but like,
no, absolutely.
You can actually go on and find out that it's actually a legit charity and everything.
So actually, one of the things I'll do is once I get it, I will then turn around. I'll send you, your thank you letter along with the receipt in kind. So it is a tax deductible donation from the American Cancer Society. The receipt comes from. So one of the nice things is when Comics Curing Cancer first started 3 years ago, just so you know, and anyone who's listening here who doesn't know, it was created originally by a gentleman just from the member of the community who wanted to raise money for the American Cancer Society. And he did a 24-hour marathon, collected money via GoFundMe, and set out to raise $2,000, but hit $8,000. Caused the ACS to pay attention and take notice, and they adopted it as a formal campaign. Last year, I ended up taking over because the creator, he had a newborn coming and couldn't put detention in. Through a series of weird connections, I ended up taking over it, and we changed it into its current format, where it's a 3-day event that's spread across multiple YouTube channels, so we can leverage overlapping spheres of influence. And one of the greatest things is that when it got adopted as an official campaign, now we have a portal that's on the ACS website, that when we get the collection, all the donations, or people are buying stuff in the auction, all their payments are made through the ACS portal. So it goes directly to the ACS and not through some third party hoping that they turn the money in type stuff, which is really great. And last year we set out to raise 10,000. We raised $22,000. This
Damn.
year this year we got our goal set at 25. We've so far we've already had $8,000, and we haven't even gotten to the big kicker yet. We have our exclusive variant for Unnatural Order that was donated by the Comic Mint and the artist. Oh my goodness, hold on, I gotta open it because I can't remember his name. Matt Wilson, who donated the cover art. Vault Comics.
Pardon me.
It donated that, so we have that exclusive variant which we're selling. All the funds go to that, and then of course we're gonna have our 3-day auctions and shows and everything else. It's gonna be amazing. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. That is amazing.
Absolutely. I mean, I do a lot of work with different charities, and I I have charities that I support as well. I just got an envelope for Hero Initiative to do a cover for their Superman collective that they're doing. So it's an original cover that I'll get to doodle on, and then it goes up for auction. But come, I guess, November, December time, I'll be raising money for Special Olympics to do the polar bear plunge in January or February, or whenever they have it.
Wonderful.
Because my cousin is in the Special Olympics, so
I have a friend that does Special Olympics, so that's close to my heart as well. I love that.
But yeah, charity work. I mean, so often too many people are affected by nasty, horrible things. Like, I mean, Hero Initiative really does a lot of good work for people in the industry, because you can't really afford benefits on your own. It's not like, it's not like you're working for a company that provides you insurance and stuff if something bad happens. If that's all you do, hence why I have the day job. But, if that's all you do, you're going to be in a bad way come a bad situation. So, I mean, that's why we work with the, Hero Initiative. I also do work with various dog and animal charities around here.
Yeah.
Champ, Alaskan Malamute Rescue in Delaware. And, man, I don't know, list as long as my arm. People who ask me, I'm like, oh, do you need something? There's a veterans charity that asked me for a donation. I sent them a sketch cover that I had done. Great. Yeah, so I mean, my inbox is open for charities usually. I mean, I almost always will give something. If not, or I'll politely decline if I can't. But, it doesn't take anything to be a little generous,
Right. Yeah.
Or even support. It doesn't take anything. Just a like or a share. Even those things can go a long way in getting the word out.
Yeah, that's what we tell everybody is the biggest thing that some folks can do for us is just simply echoing, especially the week of the event, is echoing where the shows are and all the various stuff that we put out on the at Comics Curing Cancer Instagram, the news information, echoing that out, getting that word out. Those overlapping spheres of influence is what really helps, because the algorithm doesn't let us talk to everyone who's following us all at once. And so that's where it's really helpful to have everybody else helping to echo that out there. So that way, eventually those messages get out.
And there are other gentlemen involved as well, right?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I'm just one of the caretakers. The DJ Links and of course Mark from Legion of Comics. Those two guys are the three of us together are really the three-headed monster that runs that thing. We each have our specialty within our thing, and it just works out wonderfully and makes everything so much smoother. It allows us to build this to the scale that it is right now, where we can have exclusives and we can have stuff, because we all have families, we all have day jobs, but but this is, a significant impact. It's not just a couple $100 raised. I mean, it's really the community has adopted it as the campaign that they want to do, because there are so many different various forms of cancer, so many things, but everybody's affected by it. And so by being able to come to a cause that's similar to not only helps to fund cancer research, but actually help the people who are dealing with and the families who are dealing with cancer, that's just, everybody can understand that. So the way the community has adopted this has just makes it so we want to do this even more. So that's why when I see things like that and you stepping up like that, thank you so much.
Yeah,
I'll put together some other things too. I've got some stuff around.
Very generous. Thank you.
Wow.
I really
I'm already claiming any Stray Dog stuff. Hello, everyone. So don't be
just get your
bidding on
wallet
Stray
ready
Dog
there.
Stuff if
Yeah, I'm saving money. I'm saving money. Wow, I can't
Awesome.
believe that. That's so incredible. Thank you so much.
Of course. I mean,
Wow.
thanks for bringing it up. Because I didn't know about it before. So
Shout out Circumstances. Thank you, brother, for bringing it up, Marcus.
Yeah,
hit me up on IG for your info, and I'll make sure I get it out
I'll
to
ping you right after this. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, that's one of the things that we're finding every year as we continue to get a little bit better and better. This year we're getting a lot more. We started a little bit earlier because last year we found a lot of response from artists and stuff who said, "Yeah, we appreciate you reaching out to us, but a month before is really not working."
It can get tough to produce an original piece, like on a tight deadline, especially when you want it to be something special for a charity.
Yeah. And so we started working a little bit earlier, and this year we're finding, okay, this year we were a little bit behind when we started one. So next year we know we're really gonna do a better job next year of like kicking off, especially at Heroes Con, where there's so many artists, where we can have those conversations face to face with them. We did a little bit this year with a few artists where we were able to plant seeds, but next year we want to do even better. So what are the dates for the big? The big show is October 20th through 22nd. Gene, sorry.
I'll have to get that out of here right away then, because I'll be on vacation.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Chris.
I appreciate.
It's going to take place on across different channels.
Yes, we're going to be announcing the lineup. Be published in early October, probably the first couple of days of October, because we're just getting everybody setting up their channels and getting the artwork all done. But we will, on the main at Comics Curing Cancer, we will change the hyperlink that's there from right now, what just goes to the donation portal, to our link tree, which will have not only the donation stuff, but then we'll have the list of shows and what time they're on. And you'll be able to go directly to that show, so you can start hitting the notification bell on all those different shows, so you can have it all queued up in your file.
But so basically, the best way to stay up to date on it, though, would be to follow Comics Curing Cancer on Instagram. Correct?
Yep, at Comics Curing Cancer, all one word.
Awesome. So you heard it, guys.
Yep. And that's where we've been posting pictures of some of the stuff that's come in, some of the artwork, some of the.
I've been seeing it, some incredible stuff,
and the slabs. Yeah, some of the stuff that I still have to post is crazy. Some of the nice things the community has pulled out.
It's gonna be great. Yeah. Now, Trish, what did you say you had going on later this evening?
Later this evening, I'll be on Cover Lovers. Somebody had mentioned that I should come back on last week. When I got off the show, I watched that show. It's my Monday night, routine. Trash talking of other covers, which I think is fantastic. I mean, I'm no perfectionist, and I'm not a perfect artist, but sometimes I wonder about what these publishers put on books. Like, what the heck are they thinking?
Please tell me you're talking about that Frank Miller Wolverine.
That's what I thought of too.
Looks like a tree trunk. Poor Frank Miller, man. They need to let that poor guy retire. They need to let him go.
Stop taking napkin drawings and publishing the Marvel. Come on.
I think they just find or they did the same thing to. There's another artist that had passed away, and a lot of Marvel books have his art on them again. And I'm like, oh my god, this is such a money grab. Unless they're giving money to
Yeah.
A lot of
Perez.
Perez ones.
Yeah,
Perez
Perez.
ones.
Bonita.
Unless they're like giving money to a charity that he supported or that he was using or whatever, unless they're like doing something, it's just a money grab and it sucks. Like,
Yeah, it'd be something different. Whereas if you did Perez and you did a percentage of those covers went to he died of pancreatic cancer, right? Or
I
mhm,
think
like
so.
yeah,
yeah, like
That would have
if
been
his
great.
yeah, I mean, it just oh god, it makes me so sad. I'm
of
like,
That'd be
course in the
incentive
corporate,
to buy.
of course in corporate America, they'd probably be like 10 cents would go to it. And
yeah, they would be like, oh, well, it cost us $90 to make this book, so the $4.99 you spent, we have to sell 500 of these before we can, send any money to charity or something silly like that. But yeah, that's all they kind of do. They go over the week's new releases, the incentive covers and because if they did all the A and B covers, we'd be there all night. But they usually go over the incentive covers and the store variants, and there's usually I don't know 10 or 20 of each one. The not as many store variants as there used to be. Obviously, the economy is just really taking a hit there. But back in the Stray Dogs days, I'm sure they used to have a list.
That Friday 13th variant had me running. Yeah.
Oh man, I've got so many, and I've already done like 4 for the cat book. Because the cat book's going to be it's going to be the same. It's going to have an A cover and a B cover, I think, and the B cover is going to be like the horror cover, and then maybe a C cover or reprints or whatever. But that's kind of how people know it's a scary book. But like
the C cover could be all homages.
like I just. We
it.
didn't want to be the homage people either, and then
you see cat with 3 claws with a reflection of a dog in its claws.
I was going to say, you guys did some deep dives into some cult classic horror movies.
We really did.
For straight, like there's some ones I was like what are they homaging here? And had to go look
some
up online. I'm like, I remember seeing that movie when I was like 8.
Between Tony and I think we did like 50 total covers for 7 issues of a book. Which I thought was like mind blowing. Plus, then we had 16 different trade paperbacks for the first. There were 16 different covers for the trade paperback.
Wow!
All of which are contained within that little display behind me. But, yeah, the best ones though for the trade, I would say, were The Howling. We had Halloween 3. That one was cool.
Mm-hmm.
We did so many.
So is there going to be a book that just is nothing but all the covers?
We should do a poster book for all of that. Like I'm telling you, like some of them were so good. And I mean, a lot of people don't really buy the posters. I guess Midsommar did really good, and then there was, The Thing. That one was cool. Like the reprint covers really hit the sweet spot.
Like I said, Friday the 13th was probably my favorite. But also Hitchcock's Psycho. I thought that was
oh yeah, we did really we did a lot of them, and the original artwork for a lot of those is still around somewhere. I think Felix Comic Art has it, but a lot of the original artwork that we had done for the Stray Dogs Dog Days still exists. My favorite of those was what the hell was that movie called? Pan's Labyrinth. It was so cool.
Guillermo del Toro. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like
Red.
The dogs version was so cool though. It doesn't take much to impress me. A really good homage though is something. Like you can't really I can't put my finger on why I like them. It's got to be good though. It can't be just like some hacky homage. It can't just be like, oh well, it looks similar or the colors are similar. It's got to like be pretty spot on with like the text and the overlays and the effects in the background, all of that stuff. And so that was what Tony and I really focused on when we were doing ours. It had to look like the movie poster. It had to look like a book cover. It had to look like, whatever it was trying to be. So because we were like the Disney visionaries of this homage thing, and I loved it so much. I miss Stray Dogs, And the
I do
more I
too.
talk about it, like now, I'm just like, do I have anything? What's next to me? Oh, I can't even dig through this. Never mind. I was gonna see if I had anything in here I could show off, but I can't. I could show off the French copy of Stray Dogs.
Ooh.
Wow.
Is it
Ooh la
straight-
la.
Is it Stray Chien?
No,
Okay.
that's a sit stay and whatever that is. I forgot what it was. I think it was
Mhm.
it. And
How
then
cool is that?
yeah,
Nice.
and it's a hardcover,
Yeah.
and it's
What?
all 5 issues and Dog Days, published by Panini Press.
Oh,
Panini Press.
Yeah, and I think in the back it's got a cover gallery, a small one. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Sick.
See, the Silence
Some
of
of
the
them.
Lambs, that was a great one as well. See, here's the Friday the 13th I was talking about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
That was a good one.
the inks for that
Cemetery,
one were
was
crazy.
that Cemetery was good too. They're all great, Trish.
Yeah, look at them all. Creep Show.
Yeah, the ones for Dog Days were awesome as well. Yeah.
Yeah, we did a lot of them for Dog Days. Like Dog Days had a ton, but they like put this little poster gallery or this little cover gallery in the back, and it was
5,000.
rad. It was so good.
Sit stay.
Goosebumps.
That's right.
Walking Dead. Like I mean, we were starting to go out there at the end.
Oh, Goosebumps. Yay.
Yeah. And we did a Goosebumps trade paperback for Baltimore Comic Con a couple years ago that glowed in the dark. And the glow in the dark printing on the front had like this scratchy kind of,
Texture.
I don't know, texture. And it scratched every book.
Oh,
Every book had scratches on the back from this glow in the dark crap on it.
Mm.
that
Mhm.
sucks.
Yeah. It's one of those things you don't think about until it happens.
I know. We were so mad because I was like, what printer doesn't put like a sheet in between each one?
Everyone that worries
But
about
apparently this one, and I hadn't done glow in the dark printing before, and I'm a paper snob, and I like to see these things. And I was like really disappointed. The glow in the dark effect was really good though. Like it actually was good once you like ignore the fact that it kind of wrecked the whole book. But Panini people did like 4 different covers. They did the main cover. They did The Silence of the Lambs. They did A Stranger Things. They did this one, and then they also did Exorcist. That's
Oh,
what they are.
Whoa. Oh man, I've never seen one of those.
Yeah. Well, they sent me like one of each one, but they're all in French. If I didn't like actually read this story 700 times, I wouldn't know what any of this is. But I know what this story is, so I could go through it.
I could help a little bit, but Jean Malo here, he's from Quebec, so he could translate
do
it better, yeah, much better than I ever could. Yeah.
Yeah.
Circumstances. What's up, brother? We were just talking about
Hey.
you. I made sure to shout you out. Definitely big shout out to my brother Circumstances for helping make all this happen.
And I also got these 2 this week, which was my version of the Lion King poster for Dark Ride number 8.
What?
Very nice.
And
Oh,
this,
Steamboat Willie, very nice.
Steamboat Willie homage, also for Dark Ride number 8. This one was Bird City. I think this was the last thing I did with Bird City. My friends.
Bird
I
City
can't wait for this
exclusive.
cat thing to come
Yeah.
out, so that way, we can work together again.
I cannot wait. I can't wait for it. You said it was called
This is
Feral?
still on Bird City's website, I think. This is.
That looks like it has a nice matte finish, Trish.
Oh my god, it's fantastic. The cover
Yeah.
feels great. It's a nice thick stock too. They use a nice thick stock for the cover. And the interior pages are even beefed up. Gotta love them Skybound books. Beats how Stray Dogs initially came out with that like tissue paper texture. And the covers that would just suck the ink in and then ripple because the ink was so dark. Oh, the biggest complaint for those was the black covers. Any cover that had a lot of black or a lot of red on it, which all of our A covers had a lot of red on them. They would just look like an ocean, just waves. Just waves.
Oh, like the Marvel.
And the black
cover.
covers with waves. It's like newsprint paper. It was so thin. And so for Dog Days, we made them upgrade the covers to all cardstock. I'm such a snob.
Nah, that's awesome though. Like I love cardstock covers. I'm so glad that you did that.
They're so easy to store. They don't get banged up as bad. And, when they feel nice in your hand, like when you read them. Like I actually read these, like I actually thumbed through them, read both of these books. I didn't have anything to do with the interiors. The book is crazy, but the covers are really good. And then in the back they have a nice little cover gallery too. The number 9 of this is going to be wild. Andy Price did Cinderella homage for
Price.
Andy Price is an
That's awesome. Looks just like the
we're all-
VHS tape.
right? We're all former My Little Pony artists. And so it just seems so wild that all of us My Little Pony people are doing like horror books and horror stories now. We're all just like, oh, we were too nice for too long. Time to get evil.
Time for evil. Yes.
Yep. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Everything's great. Everything's fun. What are you guys talking about tonight?
We are promoting well, Rob, you can tell her.
No, well, we were talking. Steve invited us on here to talk about a show that Chris and I do together called Only Slabs. We have a show that where each week we have guests come on and they show off some 20 to 25 of their slabbed comic book collection, and along the way we kind of get to know them through their collection, learning about them, talking about the stories behind the books that are important to them.
I think I only have like maybe 5 or 10 slab comics, just because collecting slabs is hard for me because I have nowhere to put them. But my most awesome, my first one was a Franklin and Ghost, which is Garrett Gunn, Franklin and Ghost #1. He's so funny. And then I picked that up at a shop it was only a 9.62. I didn't know anything about it. I was just like, oh, that looks cool.
9.6 is a near mint.
I like a good 9.6.
But my most favorite and most recent purchase was a 9.8 Scar #1, signed by Jeremy Irons.
Oh,
the voice
awesome.
of Scar, and it's a
Nice.
9.8.
Very nice.
And it was like a fantastic purchase. It was Spectral Comics exclusive, something that they ran. But Scar is my all-time favorite Disney villain. So,
It's a good one.
he has mad props for committing the first on-screen Disney murder.
Yeah,
And,
very true.
just being generally cool and evil at the same time. I like that his comic story also did not redeem him, but also went into how he came up with his plan to kill Mufasa. So, I mean, like,
And don't forget, he had goose-stepping hyenas.
exactly.
It's true.
Exactly. He had all that going for him. I mean, phew, he was a deep lion for a lion.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Now, Rob, with everything that you guys have going with Comics Curing Cancer coming up, what can we expect from Only Slabs? Like, what do you guys have coming up?
Yeah,
with
so
that?
that's a great segue. So we do have Only Slabs will be on in the middle of Comics Curing Cancer. We have a special show. We have Gene, who is the CEO of Shortboxed. He is coming back onto the show again. I
love Shortboxed.
Yeah, so do I. And Gene has an amazing collection of books. Just by when you have these things constantly and you're constantly at cons, you end up grabbing books all the time. So he'll be on to show some of his books. Shortbox will be doing something with us. I can't divulge quite yet 100%, but they're going to be participating with us to help us raise money for Comics Curing Cancer as well. So we'll be talking about that, their efforts, as well as they're going to help us with their social media audience to connect as we get closer to the event. So really happy to have them. And of course, I'm sure there'll be a special code in there for the audience as well. So they'll be able to get some free shipping or something on a book while they're at it, I'm sure. So
how do you find the guests for Only Slabs? Like, what is the requirement for your guests that you
yeah, so
Rob,
so
can I because we've had an interesting episode in the past featuring Pokemon, there's now a waiver, or there was for a while a waiver that you had to
No,
sign
the language that's used now specifically states graded comics and does not generically say slabs because of
Oh
Tyler.
yeah, because cards
Yeah.
could be
We,
slab.
we
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he's a friend of ours, but and he did it intentionally knowing. And he came on and brought nothing but slabbed Pokemon cards for the entire episode. And I'm not a Pokemon guy whatsoever. And so it's one of the funniest episodes out there because I was debating kicking him from the show throughout the entire show. But
You're just
but
like, what's
generally,
this? Get
yeah,
out of here.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
thankfully I have a little bit of history with Pokemon by playing Pokemon Go. So I was able
I play
to
Pokemon Go too.
Oh, it's
Nice.
great. Yes. So I was able to at least participate in the show a little bit where Rob just kept like fuming and like I can't like Rob's attitude was like I just can't believe I just got burned by this guy. But we made a show of it and ended up being one of those editions where everyone still talks about. Like if someone runs into me at a con or Rob or when Rob and I are together, the couple times we've been together, somehow it's always mentioned, hey, the Tyler episode. People don't realize Tyler actually came back for a second appearance and started his show with some more slabbed cards, but then actually broke out the real comic books.
Then actually brought some comics.
Right, and he actually has an incredible collection on like all joking aside. His episode is actually one of the better ones. You know, when it came to big bangers and independence, he had quite the Stray Dogs collection, quite the Something Is Killing the Children collection, and books like that. He was really into it, and that's one of my favorite episodes personally. But yeah, it's because of that. Rob's very careful now.
well, especially when he recommended Justin Birch to us, the letterer. He recommended him to come onto our show, and when I reached out to Justin Birch to say, hey, you know, would you like to come on the show, talk about it? I said, look, you were recommended by Tyler, so I need you to tell me that you understand that this is graded comic books. And he goes, yes. I said, no. You need to say the words.
Yeah. Say the whole sentence.
But he had an incredible collection as well. A nice X-Men run.
Yep. But Scotty, to answer your question, so it's a lot of really just I surf Instagram, and when I see people posting slabs, I'll look at I oftentimes will look at their whole page and look to see, do they have a lot of slabs that they post, and what are they are they a seller or are they a collector, and then from there I make a list, and I have a list that's on my one of those electronic post-its on my computer of IG names that then I just periodically I reach out to them and introduce myself in the concept of the show. It's a little bit easier now that we're 114 episodes in and the channel, and it's grown to the point where it is. So now when I reach out, oftentimes I get the result, oh yeah, I know your show, or I've heard of your show at least, as opposed to, who are you?
Yeah, you guys get a great audience, a big audience in there on Saturdays.
Well, yeah, we have generally, because I have co-pilot with StreamYard with Rob. We share that on each other's channels. This past weekend, we were hovering between 40 and 75 people at any given moment. Wow. And, it helps. There's a couple giveaways, and then Rob often does something for his channel members once a month as well. But even when we have episodes where something happens and Rob's not there, like for a power outage, and the giveaway stuff has to be put on pause or wait till the end of the show for everything, we still have a very large audience, and I would like to think it's a dedicated audience. And there's also that group of people that come with the guests, like those channels that are not familiar to myself or to Rob. They will bring a handful of people, and they're commenting in there as well. And the show, it's like Rob said, that it's just developed a very cool audience that seems to be checking in at least a couple times during the episode. And like I said, this past weekend, we had Joe from Anachronic Comics on, and at any given moment, we were somewhere between 40 and 75 people watching live. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh my goodness, stop the internet, like we've made it. I get the number, but we've come a long way as a show from its infancy, where we're trying to develop a recipe, trying to develop a pattern, and working on each other's cues and picking up on that kind of thing. And if Rob has got his head tilted a certain direction, he's like this, well, I know we're getting ready to play. Hey, guess that price, Chris. Or, if I'm like chomping at the bit, leaning forward, Rob knows that, hey, I'm going to ask my catchphrase question because I really want to know, what's on the right side of that blue label, because it's going to be, because it's a big time book, or it's something that I just haven't seen before. Like, there's still a lot of big time books that haven't shown up on our show, but there are some of those special keys that have been out there. We've had Action Comics twice now, but we have yet to have Detective Comics 27, but we have had Detective Comics 28, 29, 30, and lower numbers. We just haven't had the first bat, but we have had First Batman, which was a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
And we've had a few people that were kind enough to show their Amazing Fantasy 15. But then a couple weeks ago, for the first time, we had Amazing Fantasy 15 twice on the same show. And
yeah, but Chris,
That's
I'll tell you
crazy.
something. We got an upcoming guest
yeah,
who, when he sent in his preview picture, you guys, you can see it because I post the live, the thumbnails up there. He's posing with 3 of his 5 copies of Batman #1.
yeah.
Dang.
Wow.
But
Some people
again,
just gotta flex, man.
yeah. But
Hey,
again,
That's
So
what
this flex.
we tell people, though, and that's
It's
it. So
not
some people
about
come on
that,
the
though.
show. Some people come on the show, and that's what they want to do, and that's great. Some people get intimidated, don't want to come on the show because of that. We really tried to make an effort to tell them, yeah, you know what? Big, shiny, crazy books are exciting. Get everybody all excited for a few moments, but it's the stories and the connections on the books that keep everybody coming back, because otherwise it's just another show and tell.
Well, yeah, like how did you find this book, or what drew you to
Well,
Batman #1, or
or what's the connection to you, and you find out
Right.
these stories about family members and other things that go on with those, and how some of these are important. So those are all great.
Yeah.
We touched on that before. Yeah, the name of the show originally was Slab Hub, was the original name of the show, and then we had outreach, surprisingly not from the adult website. The adult website didn't seem to care, but there was a comic book presser in Texas that was also parodying the same website, and they claimed that they had trademarks on it. And even though we're not in the same business, we're not direct competing, therefore their trademark had nothing to do with what I was doing. The
trademark
reality
only applies to logo, by the way.
Right, exactly. And they're trademarking a parody logo, which is really
Yeah.
somebody else's. Yeah, it's questionable. But when I went to outreach, they sent me stuff from their lawyer, and I tried outreach to different lawyers here and couldn't get anybody that was willing to answer me. Once they heard the words YouTube, they said, forget you. And so it just kind of became a thing of, you know what? It's not worth the hassle on some of this stuff. And at that time, one of our buddies said, well, why don't you just change the name of the show to like Only Slabs? And I did a little bit of testing with a few. I had one of my big barbecues that summer. I was talking to some people, and it registered, especially amongst women, much better than Slab Hub did. And so we went and said we made the change, and it's really been a better change anyways. I think in the long run, I'm much happier with the name now than the original name. But yeah, they both work. But this one, it's like, okay, now our parody is of their old logo. They don't even use that logo anymore,
Right.
and so it works great. Some people don't even realize that it's a parody.
I didn't even realize that that's what it was.
Some people, yeah, exactly. Most people, the initial connection is, oh yeah, you're only showing slabs, which is what it is. But then then there's that second piece of it, the double entendre piece of it, of that it's the parody of that, because OnlyFans is known not for, even though it's not just that. Let's be honest, what brings people to the yard.
Well, you can't use any Liefeld covers. There's no feet on them.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and we never show our feet either, so it's okay.
But the cool thing is, sometimes when you see the light come on with people, So like there's a lot, like Rob mentioned, the double entendre and then the innuendo and stuff like that. And when the people are kind enough to donate a little bit of money towards C3 via Rob's show, we have a little clip that we play that's, you know, very tongue-in-cheek as well, full of innuendo. And then you can see the light come on, like, Only Slabs, oh, Only Fans, oh, now I get it. And those moments are
the thumbnail
priceless
didn't
because
give it
Rob and I
away when it
can't
says
talk about
sexy
Yeah.
slab and comic book action, but you know,
The best part is like Rob and I can't speak to the fact they just clued in, but I can look at Rob's face and I'm sure he can look
That's
at
why
mine
you
just
can-
like, all right.
that's why Scotty, you can go get the Only Slabs mug, and it says two
Uh-huh.
guys, one show. Actually, no, it says two guys, one mug.
Yeah.
That's what it says. Two guys, one mug.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can't. I cannot.
Now, real quick, before I wanted to get back to Comics
Yeah.
Curing Cancer before we have to wrap it up. Comics Curing Cancer, when does it start?
All year round on my channel, because 100% of the channel membership, the advertising revenue, the merch revenue, the super chats, everything that goes through my YouTube channel all gets donated to Comics Curing Cancer. But the big event is October 20th, 21st, and 22nd. We'll be kicking it off on Legion of Comics channel on Friday morning at 7:30 in the morning Eastern time. And then we will have a schedule that goes out. There'll be some gaps here and there, so it's not nonstop with some breaks, but it is most of the day. We'll even go, actually this year we're going into the overnight hours, as we have the Insomniac Theater is taking on the overnight shift into Whack Comics in the morning. So the next day, so we'll run that the first 2 days. The shows have a variety of, some of them are very pledge drive type of stuff. Some of them are sketch shows. There'll be a couple sketch shows where people will have artists on there drawing live, and then they're going to auction off the items that they draw at the end of the show. And then we have some mini auctions and stuff going on throughout the show. During those first 2 days, anybody who donates $50 or more, actually anybody who has already this year individually donated $50 or more cumulative, by the time we get to the end of the second day, we put their name on our prize wheel or our donor wheel. And then we have a bunch of prizes that have been donated, and we spin the wheels and we'll get it. We have a big show Friday night, and we go, oh, Chris the Comic Vet, he wins. Oh, free comic book pressings from so-and-so. He went, and we do that throughout the night, and we'll ship things out like that. And then Sunday, we come back to my channel, and that's the all day, the big auction, where we're going to have original comic book pages, sketch covers. We've got slabbed comics. We have, look, I got, somebody sent in a Batman Adventures 12 in near mint.
First Harley Quinn.
Yeah, first Harley Quinn that's sitting here that is going up for auction in the show. We've got Golden Age comics, Silver Age comics.
Wow.
It's just absolutely crazy, the stuff that's going to be available. And it's going to be a great time.
I can't wait.
And if we get the $30,000, so at 25,000, Lee said, which is our goal is 25,000. He said he'd shave his beard. Not a big deal. Lee's beard isn't that impressive. Sorry, Lee. But
Shots fired.
He's young. It's still coming in. But at 30,000, he said he was going to wax his eyebrows.
Oh,
right.
That's
Let's go, everyone.
choice.
Come on.
And then his Whack Comics partner, Tyler, didn't want to do that. So he said, if we hit 40,000, he was going to get the Comics Curing Cancer logo as a tramp stamp.
Oh, damn.
Tattoo.
Right on like the lower back.
Now, we've done the math.
$5 book at 10
We
grand.
have done the math. And that really just means that we need to increase the number of donors we had last year by about 50% at an average donation level of 20% lower than last year's average. If we had $150 average donations over like 180 people combined with what we've already got, we're hitting 40,000, and Tyler's getting himself a tramp stamp.
Yes.
Well, now I got to dig out an extra piece to send. I mean,
yes.
I got to dig something else out.
And he's a big Stray Dogs fan, so he may be spending the money himself.
I'll be like, damn it, Trish, while he's getting his tattoo.
I love it. I love it. This has been so much fun. Trish, thank you so much for popping up and donating this amazing art piece and hanging out with us again this week. That's so cool of you. Thank you.
Yes, I'll be there.
Anytime.
You guys see it.
Yeah.
Darkwing Duck, issue
I
7.
pinged you from the at Comics Curing Cancer group.
Oh, yeah.
So
Let me see
Yeah,
here.
and Rob, Chris, thank you guys so much. I cannot express how much it means to me that you guys had my back and showed up to hang out with me this week. And I have so
Anytime.
much respect for you guys and your show. I look up to you guys. I look up to Only Slabs. I look up to
All right,
the
I followed
things
you
that
back.
you're doing, and I hope to do some things like that in the future myself. But you're definitely inspiring people. So thank you guys.
well, I
You're too
appreciate your
kind.
delusions. They feed my ego.
But anyways, I guess we will wrap it up. I usually wrap it up with Biggie Shack, so I think we'll wrap it up with Biggie this week. But thanks, guys. Come back next week. We will have comic collector geek Alan with some amazing Golden Age goodness. So be sure to come back
Yes.
next Monday, 7:30
He's great.
p.m.
Dude.
Eastern
He's a good
time.
dude.
But we'll leave you with Biggie.
I'd say that one is a banger, man. It's a real certified banger, dude.
Oh man.